Hi, Phanessa here. In this video I am going to demonstrate how to crochet the boxed puff stitch. So there's only a 2-row repeat and it looks like this with this beautiful texture, and as the name says, boxed puff stitches. So these long double crochet stitch looks like they are boxing out the puff stitches. You can probably see it a little bit better here. Okay, let's get started. So this pattern is in multiples of 3 plus 2. So start with a slip knot. I'm just going to crochet sample here. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I have my multiples of 3. I'm going to chain 2 more. 1, 2. Okay, so for our foundation row, I'm going to work into the 5th chain from the hook. So this here is your first stitch. That's your first stitch from the hook. This loop around the hook does not count. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I like to place my finger right before this 5th stitch or after, however you want to look at it, and so that I know that's where I'm going to work my stitch. And the first stitch we're going to work is a puff stitch. So to work a puff stitch, you're going to yarn over, insert your hook into that 5th stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm just going to go through 2 loops. You can go through whichever loop you'd like, just keep it consistent. Then I'm going to pull up a loop. So you want to yarn over and then pull up a loop. And make sure that's a tall loop, about the same height as this one, because this is your turning chain right here. Okay, so we're going to do that 3 more times, a total of 4 times to get 9 loops on our hook. So yarn over into the same stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over into the same stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop. One more time, yarn over into the same stitch, yarn over and pull up a loop. Okay, so you should have 9 loops on your hook. Yarn over and pull through all 9 loops. Chain 1 to secure. Okay, so these chain stitches that we skipped, this is going to count as 1 double crochet and a chain 2, and you'll see how that works out the further you move along the pattern. Okay, so now we're going to repeat. We're going to skip 2 stitches, and then we're going to work into the 3rd, and all into this stitch we're going to work 1 double crochet, chain 2, and a puff stitch. That's the set that you're going to work into this stitch here. So work your double crochet first, yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2. Okay, so there's your double crochet, chain 2, 1, 2. Into the same stitch we're working our puff stitch. So yarn over, insert your hook into the same stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop. So we're doing that 4 times. Yarn over into the same stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop. Make sure you pull that loop tall. Yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over and pull up a loop. Last time, yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over and pull up a loop. So you should have 9 loops. Yarn over and pull through all 9 loops on your hook. Chain 1 to secure. So you're going to repeat that across, skip 2 and work your set of double crochet, chain 2 and puff stitch into the next. And you're going to repeat that until you have 3 stitches left. And you'll skip 2 and then just 1 double crochet into the last stitch. And I'm going to skip 2 and then work into the 3rd stitch. Okay. Since I'm making a small sample, I have come to the end with the 3 stitches, I'm going to skip 2 of the chain stitches and then work just 1 double crochet into the last. Okay, that's row 1. Row 2, you're going to chain 1 and turn, and we're skipping this first stitch. We're going to work down here. There are 2 stitches that we skipped. It's going to be the second skipped stitch. So if you look at it from this way, it's 1, 2. So the second skipped stitch is the one closest to the double crochet. It's the first stitch after the double crochet. So we're going to work a long double crochet stitch, and to work that you're going to yarn over and then insert your stitch into that very first stitch. The instructions will say into the second skipped stitch. Then you yarn over, pull up a loop. My working yarn is still behind my work. Make sure you pull up a tall loop. So this is a long double crochet stitch. Okay, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2. Okay. Now we're going to work 1 single crochet right on top of the puff stitch. That's the chain 1 that you secured your puff stitches with. Just 1 single crochet. And then into the chain 2 space, you're going to work 1 single crochet. So insert your hook into the space, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2. If you do need basic crochet tutorials, I will link that in the corner. Okay, so we're going to repeat 1 long double crochet into the second skipped stitch going this direction. So it's the first stitch here, yarn over, find the first stitch here in the previous row. I don't know if I said round earlier. I made a beanie using this stitch, so I was working in the round. I have my tall double crochet stitch here, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2. 1 single crochet on top of the puff stitch, 1 single crochet into the chain 2 space, 1 long double crochet stitch into the skipped stitch here closest to the double crochet, yarn over, insert your hook into that stitch down there, yarn over, pull up a tall loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2. So I'm at the end. I'm going to work 1 single crochet on top of this puff stitch, and then the last single crochet is going to work between the turning chain and the puff stitch. Okay, so that is pretty much your repeat. We're going to chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now alternatively, you can work a chainless double crochet and a chain 2, because that's what this counts as, 1 double crochet into chain 2. So turn your work, 1 puff stitch into the same stitch, 1, 2, 3, 4. So remember when we worked these clusters into the same stitch, it was 1 double crochet, chain 2 and 1 puff. So that's what this is. 1 double crochet for the first 3 chains, chain 2 and 1 puff. Like I said, alternatively you can work a chainless double crochet. Okay, we're going to skip 2. So this is just like the foundation row, except you're starting with your chaining of the 5 stitches. You skip 2. Into the next, you're going to work your set of double crochets, chain 2 and puff stitch. So 1, 2, into the third. Here's my double crochet, chain 2, and then 1 puff stitch into the same stitch. 2, 3 and 4. Make sure you have your 9 loops. Skip 2 into the third, double crochet, chain 2, and then your puff stitch. 1, 2, 3 and 4. At the end, we're going to skip 2 and 1 double crochet into this last stitch here, and then we're ready for this repeat here, which is the single crochet and long double crochet stitch, chain 1 and turn, we're skipping this stitch here into the closest skipped stitch down in the previous round or row. You want to work your long double crochet stitch. Okay, so right in there, pull up a tall loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, and pull through 2. 1 single crochet on top of the cluster, or I mean the puff stitch, 1 single crochet into the chain 2 space, and then repeat. 1 long double crochet stitch into this skipped stitch here closest to the double crochet, single crochet into the puff and the chain 2 space. Okay, I always like to work my last single crochet just right into this space here. Okay, so those are the repeat. So go ahead and repeat those 2 rows until you're happy with your size. And I recommend stopping after the long double crochet row just so you can kind of finish off the repeats so that it's consistent. Okay, so I'm working the puff stitch row again, and I'm going to show you quickly. Instead of working the chain 5, you can work a chainless double crochet. So turn your work, don't chain any stitches. So down here we worked a chain 5, which counted as the double crochet and the chain 2. So you can work a chainless double crochet. You're going to pull this up about as tall as your double crochet. So that's what, like an inch, about an inch. And then you're going to place your finger here so that it doesn't slip off. Bring your hook forward around that loop, back here, and then back to the stitch here. So right into the first stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, keep your finger on that loop on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, and pull through 2. Okay, so that's your double crochet. Now you're going to chain 2 and work a puff stitch into the same stitch. So instead of working the chain 5 for your double crochet and chain 2, you can just work your chainless double crochet and then you chain 2. When you come back around, you're going to 1 single crochet right into the top of that chainless double crochet. So down here, I just went right through the space. It's much easier to work through the chainless double crochet. Whatever you do, just keep it consistent so that it looks uniform. Okay, skip 2. Just going to work a couple of more repeats and then we'll see what that looks like. Okay, so this is my chainless double crochet. I just wanted to show you that you would just insert your hook into the top. So that's where I would work my last single crochet. So I'm just going to fasten off there. Okay, so that's what it looks like. And this is the Finley slouch that I'm working on. And this is worked in the round. And I am going to be calling for testers. I may already have this in testing when this video is released. So leave a comment in the description box below and let me know if you'd like a tutorial on how to work this stitch in the round. Okay, thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that notification button so you'll be notified every time I post a video. I'll see you next time.